back to the Nova. I'm going to show you guys kind of where we're at with it. Go over a few things, then we're going to keep kind of diving at this thing. So I've started to kind of take down the rough paint areas, places I think need some work, places that the paint was coming off or the clear coat was peeling, rust areas, just issue spots. And I started kind of there first. The car was last painted. They didn't paint around the doors, or excuse me, the door handles. So there's a lot of paint buildup here, a lot of issues. So I went ahead and cleaned those off, and already done the front end, got it down to a workable place. So it's got some build primer on it right now, ready to do a first block, and then we can see all the places that we've got to work, right? So you kind of have to, when you do restoration or paint work like this, you got to think about starting from square one. You got to get each panel down to a point where all of the big bad things are taken care of and the paint's removed from them, so you can really see what's there. And then once you have it taken down to that point, you can put a layer of etch primer on and then a layer of build primer, and start really seeing where you're going to have to put filler, or you may have to do some more welding. For instance, on this front fender, it's got its first coat of primer on it, so I did a layer of etch primer and then a layer of build primer on top of it. And I can see some spots that are a little low. These are the areas where I welded in the body molding holes. So I'll have to go back and I'll have to put some Bondo on those, smooth those out. And I'll be able to tell that because I'll rough sand this down and I'll see these low spots. But where I've got some other issues is like right here. I was sandblasting this bottom rocker and I hit a little spot right here because it looked a little odd, and I blew through because it's thin metal right there from some rust. So I'm gonna have to go back and weld a patch in here, and that's just part of it. These old cars just they just need a lot of work. So I'm dirty, I'm filthy right now, but I'm gonna see if I can get this block down to not all bare metal, but to a point where I feel like it's low enough, it's gone down far enough to take out the trouble spots. I'm going to put some etch primer on it, and then I'm going to come back with my first layer of build primer, and that kind of gives us that baseline. That's the starting point to really start doing the body work and blocking, trying to work these panels straight, and also will just look a whole lot better once the car is all on primer. I'll feel better about it, you'll feel better about it. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And but I'm kind of going around the car looking for trouble spots that I know I've got to hit first, like these big spots here where I had to do a little sandblasting to get some rust out, hitting these big problem areas, and then I'm taking the paint down with some 40 grit and coming back with 80 grit and coming back with I think 150 grit, and then I'm doing my prime. So back here, obviously been hit before. There's some work that's been done there. My little patch panel that I put in here, I'll have to come work that too. So still some ugly on it. And again, I gotta come back and hit these spots too. Look, some thinning, some rust areas in here. So I'll weld those up, and then I'll come in from the back side and I'll put some epoxy or something back there, spray in to stop that rust from and inhibiting it from getting any worse. But here we are, little by little. Can't wait till this thing's painted. It starts looking like something. All right, and here's what we have now. So we took down the paint to basically bare metal. Take all the Bondo out and put etch primer and then a high build primer on top of that. And that gets us to this point right here. Obviously there's a lot of body work to do at this point. We're at square one, but major pull, major welding work has been done. We'll just need to go back and do the little stuff from here on out, and we'll start our blocking process. And we'll have to wipe, Bondo, block, prime, go through that process a few times before we get things nice and smooth. But at least we got a place to start now, and we know what we're working with.